Thank you, Rizzi. And thank you everyone for coming today. It was a great effort with Keith and all the team to put this together, and it's really satisfactory to be here today. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what we have done in Taylor County. As I said, I'm the Marine Extension Agent. In Taylor County, we have basically two permitted sites, the Stinghatchee Fisheries Management Area and the Buckeye Reef. The University of Florida is permittee for the Stinghatchee Fisheries Management Area, while the Board of County Commissioners is a holder of the permit for the Buckeye Reef. Dr. Lieber is gonna maybe talk a little bit more in his presentation about some results in this area. So we're focusing more on efforts on the Buckeye and other things that I'm gonna share later. But since 1990, from all the grants that we have received, we have invest $579,000 with more than 1,300 tons of material deployed from different sources, mainly from FWC and some state or local government funding and private sector donations. The average depth of artificial reef in Taylor County is 35 foot. They're really offshore. As you know, the shelf in front of Taylor County is really shallow, so you can go 17 miles and still be in 40 foot of water. The artificial reef are located from 17.5 to 20.5 nautical miles away from shoreline. In the last 5 years, there have been deployed 467 fish cubes, 120 tetrahedron style materials, and 61 tons of scrap metal, covering in 2016 only. It was covered at 2,550 foot square of seafloor with the artificial reef material. We have an agreement with a local person in Gina area where we can storage or the material for deployments. And last year in November, we had the luck, we were lucky enough to go with FWC and do the side scan in the Buckeye Reef, which really helped us to update the data there for future new deployments and also for the monitoring program that we're putting together to start this year. So we got a grant. It started in 19,000, but it went down a little bit because we changed the scope of work. But anyways, like $16,000 for the next year to do some monitoring in the area. This is the result of the Buckeye Reef side scan, and what they did. This shadow area shows some gradient of light bottom, and in these areas we see is real sandy bottom. So what we're looking in the future is maybe to request a re-permit and expand the permitted area, which is this line that we barely see here, is 1 square mile. And we would like to just expand that area to do more deployments and include some deployments that are even outside of the permit area. What we're trying to do right now, part of my job is the relaunch of the Marine Advisory Committee in Taylor County. To do that, we are now recruiting a new generation of Taylor County Reef Research Team volunteers. Now that we are working toward the monitoring process, we share online in Facebook that we were looking for volunteers, and the response has been great. So far, we have more than 67 people who have signed up as volunteers, some with really great background. We have 2 underwater ecologists and 2 people from the Coast Guard, like 4 dive masters and people with more than 25 years of experience diving, even experience with previous artificial reef monitoring, which is going to be great. We are still sending our applications for new grants for reef enhancements. And the idea is to establish a permanent artificial reef monitoring program. So this year, we're going to focus on like a snapshot of the Buckeye Reef, doing the fish census and evaluating the status of the material that have been employed. But in the future, we would like to add new aspects to that monitoring process. Of course, for us, as being said at the beginning, partnership is really important. So we really think this is a great opportunity to do some partnership between the region to help improve our program. We're also trying to we would like to reevaluate the Andrew Reef, which is no longer permitted. Do maybe a size scan, use the volunteers to go there and check how's the reef doing, and maybe try to get the permitted to do new deployments, or try to find some shallow water sites that might be permitted. Some people have shown some concern about the potential of lionfish coming closer to the shore. So this is something, as Kit said, planning for artificial reef site is really important. And just join forces with make boring counties, and that's why we're here. And pretty much, I think that is the big picture of what we are doing today. I hope the next workshop we will present on some of the results of the efforts that we're doing now. Thank you.
Do we have Cheyenne Stemple from Dixie or representative? Okay.
We don't have a whole lot as far as a lot to say about it, but basically what we're trying to do is I guess the White City Bridge, the reef site out there. Basically what we're trying to do is just add to that site, and basically I'm just waiting on a time right now just to go out there and do some preliminary dives, check the bottom, see if it's sand, see what we have out there. I did several dives out on the bridge. Like you say, and it's pretty sandy all around the bridge. I mean, there's some sites out there that, it's a little bit broke bottom, but mostly sandy. But I just need to have a time to go out there and do it in the weather. And hopefully within the next month, I'll be able to get out there and do it. And that's basically what I'm waiting on. I want to get out there before the sharks get bad too. So the bull sharks are kind of bad out there at the bridge. But that's kind of where we're at right now. That's kind of the update I have on that. So, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Next up, we have Tisha Whitehurst from Levy. I don't think we need it. You can do that, or you can point to Victor and he can go forward. Okay.
All right. Good morning. I don't have much of an update either. Levy County Restore Act does not currently have an artificial reef program right now. We do have funds that are not allocated for anything in both Pot 1 and Pot 3. So I was sent here today to listen, learn, and bring back some information to the Restore Act Advisory Committee, as well as the Board of County Commissioners, in hopes that the funds that we don't have allocated could be used for this in the future. So thank you for having me.
Next up, Citrus Art Reinhart.
Citrus also doesn't have an awful lot going on right now due to time restraints and funding, but we are still seeing continued success at our dive sites in the fish haven areas there. One of our best ones is our Cedar Key deployment of the old fishing bridge that was out here, where we're seeing a lot of fishing activity on it, a lot of diving activity, increased growth rates. The diversity of fish are continuing to remain steady. However, we are seeing a decline in the Goliath grouper. We are seeing a few more spotted eagle rays. Whether any of this is, due to overfishing or anything like that, I'm not really sure. We are still continuing to look for restore funding for getting going with the shallow water reef program. That's again there, just funding and time restraints are holding that up. Our inshore reefs and our lakes, they're doing very well, surprisingly, for just something that's made out of old Christmas trees and so forth. They're really, bringing in